Hello, everyone. Here is another podcast of the inner game of food and diet, supporting you, or more ever, empowering you about your health and well-being. Today, I have with me a friend and client, Liz Hynd. I always say your surname, I think, incorrect. Is it Hynd?
Hynd.
Hynd, that's it, exactly. And Liz has a very, very powerful story for you to hear, maybe to support you with your health in a slightly different way. We are used to looking for the answer to our health external, outside of us. So we used to going to the doctor who gives us a diagnostic, and there is nothing wrong with that. Then we often start to take some kind of medication. There is nothing wrong with that. But when we continue doing that long term, it can bring us into a vicious circle that we're relying on this medication, and also that this medication have a knock-on effect on our health. And when we then don't interrupt that circle and starting to see that we actually have the capacity, when we look after our nutrition, our environment, our mindset, that we have the capacity of self-healing. So when we don't start to look at that, then it's probably more likely that we start to have taking other medication, which then, like I said, bring us into that vicious circle. The other thing is also, when we have a diagnostic, we see ourselves often that is a constant, that there is no way out. That is what we are. We identify that with ourselves. And then we see often only the times when we are feeling unwell, then seeing the moments where we actually feeling well. Because in that moments where we feel well, that's when healing can take place. So, but enough of me now. I would really like to introduce Liz here. So maybe Liz, when you start to tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and then we just go into your story. So wherever you want to take us.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Paola, for inviting me today. It's been a journey, is all I'll say to start with. I've been incredibly lucky. I've been very aware of complementary medicines, let's say alternative medicines, for a long time. My daughter and I have always used them. So I'll go into why I contacted Paola, I think, because that's a good place to start, and then I can tell you a bit about what I do. I was very ill at the end of November, in intensive care for 17 days and in hospital for nearly a month. This is so unlike me. I'm never ill, and this came as quite a shock. I had pneumonia with one of the other things that are going around at the moment. I'm sure you can all work out what that is. And I had to reach for Western medicine. I had to be helped with Western medicine. And for me, that's testament to how I feel about the whole medicine, my body and everything else. When I needed it, it worked for me. When I needed to have help, it worked for me. I'm used to sort of looking after myself, and luckily my gut was in a pretty good state, because I do look after myself, not just with food, but also some supplements, omegas and vitamins that I have from a company I work with called doTERRA. But I reached for Paola because I needed someone I felt I could trust, who had some medical knowledge, because of the things that happened and I was left with after I came out of hospital. One of which was steroids, the other was insulin, and I think we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I'll tell you a bit about me. I'm a mum of one, second marriage to my lovely Paul. I'm also, for the last nearly 6 years, I've worked with a company called doTERRA, which is a global essential oils company. The most huge company, which is so amazing, the things they do. But we work with people on lifestyle change. So I'm used to doing all these things for myself. I'm used to helping people with it. I'm used to working with them for ailments from pre-birth to end of life, for emotions, for cooking and cleaning. We forget things like our cleaning products are very carcinogenic and hormone disrupting. So there are lots of things I'm really aware of to start with. So I help you help yourself. And I love helping people because it's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy seeing the difference to them, their lives, of themselves and their families. But once you know about pure essential oils, you can't unknow. And that's the most amazing thing about these. They are so powerful. So I don't know what you want to talk about next, Paola. Would you like to?
I would be really interested. So you were in the beginning, you were looking at Western medicine. And I think it is also very interesting because you were looking after yourself so well that actually it had a really good effect on you when you had to take it.
It was quite interesting. For me, I would do anything to not take Western medicine because that's just how I am. And most things I can sort myself, but this one I certainly couldn't. So when I needed to reach for it, and obviously in intensive care, you do have a choice. Of course you have a choice. But I knew that I needed to get well, and I needed to get well quickly. So when I needed it, it really, really worked. And what I didn't want to do was continue with that. When I came out of hospital, I did everything I was told. I came down with the steroids and all the other medicine I was on. I came down exactly the way they told me, mainly because I didn't want to go back or be told I had to go back onto them again. So I was really keen to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the way of getting rid of the steroids was to start looking at getting myself well again. And my, I suppose, irritation of being on insulin because of the steroids. I wasn't diabetic before, and I wasn't going to ever be diabetic. So
can you just tell us, sorry to interrupt you, can you just maybe go in a little bit further into why you had to take insulin?
When you have steroids, one of the issues apparently is that your liver can be impacted in a way that they need to protect that. Part of the protection was to put you on injectable insulin, which protects that and also helps you. So one of the things I didn't want to have any more or any other issues while I was in there. I was on lots of medication, but those were the two significant ones for me.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't really had diabetes, so you
No, I knew I wasn't diabetic. I knew I wasn't diabetic before I went in. But because of steroids, my insulin went up, so that needed to be managed. So they were taking those tests every day to check the insulin levels. So that really, needed to be managed quite quickly. And it is a side effect of steroids. So yeah, whatever needed to be done, to be perfectly frank, I wasn't in a position to, well, for me, to refuse any of it. It was there to help me. It worked because I hadn't used it for so long. I hadn't used Western medicine for so long. So when I needed it, it really came into its own, and it helped me, and also helped me recover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, but now with taking the insulin, especially, it took you a while of getting off. And I mean, just to say as well, you actually, with the long COVID, you were sitting in a wheelchair for a moment as well.
Yes, when I came out of hospital, I couldn't actually walk and I couldn't lift anything. In fact, without my amazing daughter, Laura, I would have taken a lot longer to recover. I was told that for every month or every day you're in intensive care, it takes you a month to get over. So that would have been for me 17 months. I'm not a sick person normally, and I wasn't prepared to continue with that. But I was also aware of being sensible. So yes, I needed a wheelchair for about a month. I must admit, I didn't sit in a wheelchair for long. As soon as I got the strength to be able to start walking, I walked with a wheelchair, which is quite a funny thing because you see people walking around with pushing wheelchairs and you think, why aren't they sitting in it? Now I know why, because they're learning to walk again. And for me, that was important to get out of it and not be ill. I don't like being ill. It's not in my personality to be ill. So, that was me on my first chance of getting out and getting well, really.
I love your analogy why people sit in wheelchairs. It's because they want to get out of it and walk again. That's
Yeah.
very, very nice. So, so the way you were looking after yourself beforehand and the way you were looking after yourself, even taking the medication you had to take and the insulin and the steroids,
Yeah.
which have a real effect on our health and also actually support weight gain when you take insulin. You, because you were working preventative and constantly on the side of taking all these medications with doTERRA, introducing through this program we did a really healthy diet. It really helped you to recover more quickly. Do you think you would be where you are now if it wouldn't be down to looking after yourself so well?
Definitely not. Definitely not. It was easy. And to be honest, it was so much easier not to have done anything, not to have pushed myself, not to have my daughter and husband saying, what can we do to help? And, you know, they were by my side every day. I mean, it is the support you need as well. But I know I wouldn't have recovered so quickly. And I don't know if people are aware, but when you have steroids, you get this sort of moon face. And I was so disappointed and upset that I looked as if I'd put on a lot of weight. I had put on weight, but that's what the steroids do. And I was determined to get that off, but knew I actually couldn't do it on my own. I knew I needed help. I knew I needed someone I could trust, I could work with, but also who understood the Western medicines I had taken. It wasn't just anybody I could work with. It had to be someone who understood the medication and how I needed to work with some of it. And it took me 6 months to get off of insulin, which for me was actually quite quick. I thought it might take longer. So I'm really pleased we did it in 6 months. In fact, I was off of all Western medications at 6 months. So I was taking nothing from, you know, sort of a drastic November Saturday night when I was rushed into hospital. So a lot happened in 6 months. But I'm so grateful for being able to find the people around me who supported me, who helped me, who said love and wellness and, you know, everything to me that made the difference. I think it all makes a difference. But if we can go on to working with you, Paola, because that was so significant for me, I needed to find somebody. And I was advised to talk to Paola from one of our networking groups. And I thought, this is going to take me so long to find the right person that I clicked with and who understood my needs. It wasn't just, I need to detox, I need to lose weight. It was more than that. So when I phoned Paola up and started to talk to her, I became so excited. Once she knew what I was talking about, she knew how I felt, and she knew that it wasn't just a detox I wanted the whole lifestyle thing, change, understanding, things I hadn't even realized about some of the things we eat. And that's where Paola came in with so many positive things. And what a lovely person to work with. If anyone hasn't worked with her, you've got to work with her. She's not the type of person who's, you know, you've got to do this, this, and this. It's very much, this is how we work together. This is something to look at today. This is something to try. And you need that guidance. You don't need someone who wants to push you into the quick fix. Mine wasn't going to be a quick fix. I knew that. And it you know, it was going to take 6 months. And I was more than happy with that because I needed to change the part of my life I hadn't been looking at. And that's where Paola came in. It's been incredible, an incredible journey. Funny journey as well, hasn't it, Paola?
Yes, we had lots of laughter.
Couldn't do it without laughing, actually.
Yes. It's really lovely to see you like that now, and to see your journey and taking part on your journey. I mean, I feel really honored being part of your journey. So thank you for sharing that with me. I also would like to look into the mindset side of things, because I think in your journey, the mindset side of things play a really, really important role. So if you maybe could talk us through that a little bit as well.
I was determined it wasn't a mindset thing, by the way. Which was even funnier, really, because it is all mindset. It is all looking at things a different way. It is all about understanding you. And I think that's the most important thing. It's understanding you, understanding, you know, that I wasn't just going to be, by my words, a pushover. I was going to, you know, I was going to have to work with Paola, which was actually such an incredible journey. It was brilliant. But to start with, I'm very sort of not anti someone telling me what to do, which was great because Paola never told me what to do. She just helped me. And that's part of my mindset as well, is the fact that I was working with someone who wanted me to get better, wanted to help me, wanted to make a difference. And it was me looking at things a different way than I'd ever looked at them before, to understand more about what made me tick, to understand more about the elements that come into mindset, rather than just the obvious things about, you know, doing yoga and things like that, or what have you. I did actually have an amazing yoga teacher, Janine, who helped me with armchair yoga. So it all sort of came in together, but all at different times and all at different phases. But yeah, it is a mindset thing. You have to want to do this. You have to want to change your mind on things you assumed you knew, which was me. Very much on what I assumed I knew. And then it was, oh, hang on a minute, I don't know any of this. So it was good. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So, yes, it's all about you. It's all about you and your life.
Yeah.
You are always in relationship with yourself. So,
Yeah.
what is it what you want to do with that? It's your journey. What it is, what you want to create. So thank you so much, Liz, for this incredible story, sharing that with us. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I just think it is life-changing. And that's the difference for me. It is life-changing. It's come into everything else I automatically do. But it's an area I hadn't looked at deeply enough. And Paola's given me that gift to be able to look at that. So, you know, thank you. I mean, it's been amazing. As I say, it's been a lot of fun as well. It's been good.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And so if you want to get in touch with me, but also if you want to get in touch with Liz because of her essential oils, the doTERRA products, how can people get hold of you because of these products?
They can obviously call me on WhatsApp and leave a message if they like. So my number's 07956 331 217. I've also got a website and it's orientallilies.com. So it's 2 L's in lilies, such a long name. So it's orientallilies.com. And contact me either way. I'm more than happy to help and have a chat. By the way, I love having coffees with people, whether it's live or whether it's on Zoom.
So yes, so there we are. I put the information of Liz as well down below, like you like to say. And thank you so much for listening, and I hope it was useful for you. If you got any questions, please just get in touch. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.